Hey guys, you might have noticed that I love talking about money systems and organization. Recently, one question keeps coming up from friends and family. How do you actually manage your money? So today I am excited to share my exact system with you, not because it's the right way, but to show you what works for me and maybe give you some ideas. I am a really visual person when it comes to numbers. I love being able to look at something and instantly understand where my money is going. That's actually what got me started with tracking my spending way before I even had my first job. I remember sitting there before my first job interview, already planning how I would organize my future salary. Over the years, I have tried pretty much everything you can think of: apps, physical planners, envelope systems, you name it. But what I have discovered is that tracking money isn't just about having a pretty system or writing down numbers. It's about understanding your own spending psychology. Here's what I mean. Traditional budgeting always felt restrictive to me, like I was just putting my money in rigid boxes without really thinking about what mattered. You know how typical money tracking works, right? You log every transaction, the date, what you bought, which category it falls into, and then you try to stay within preset budget limits for each category. And that's useful, but I wanted something that would tell me more about my spending decisions. I wanted to understand not just where my money was going, but why it was going there, and if those choices actually aligned with what I value. That's what led me to create this system that I use today, and let me show you how this works using some numbers in my planner. Every Sunday, I have what I call my money date. It's just 30 minutes where I sit down and review my week. So during this time, I am basically going through my bank and credit card apps and entering every transaction on my planner. In terms of income, if I was paid that week, I will enter this information on the income breakdown section. If I save or invest money, I will enter that in the savings section, and my spending transactions go here in a dedicated spending sheet. Also, during my money date, I make sure that my bills for the previous and upcoming week are being paid. I have a bill tracker that helps me remember the due dates and the amounts, even though my recurring bills are on auto pay. But this helps me stay aware. Sometimes I notice that I am paying month after month for a service that I'm not using. And when that happens, I either start using it or cancel it. But what I am most excited to show is my spending sheet and budgeting system. As I mentioned, when most people track their spending, they're just sorting everything into categories: transportation, utilities, entertainment, personal care, so on. But besides that, I also wanted to understand how necessary each purchase is in my life. And let me show you what I mean. Every time I log a transaction, I rank it in one of four importance levels. Think of it like a priority system for your spending. At the top, we have essential expenses, and these are the absolute must-haves like housing and basic groceries, the basic things that you need to survive. Then there's important. For me, important is everything that helps me maintain a quality life. For example, my health insurance plan, it's super important to have health insurance. But cost-wise, do I necessarily need to have the exact plan I currently do? Could I find a cheaper option or increase the deductible to lower the monthly payments? Sure. Other examples that fall into this criteria will be internet service, phone bills, education expenses, and so on. Again, what you need to have a quality life might vary. I am speaking for myself. The third importance level is what falls into the nice to have. For me, nice to have expenses are those that provide enjoyment. My premium gym membership lives here. I love it, but I know that I could work out just as effectively with a basic membership if needed. Any hobbies like the dozens of fictional books I purchased throughout the year, a vacation, some other basic entertainment stuff are all things that I think are nice to have. And finally, there are the optional expenses. I see this as purely discretionary stuff. I will rank as optional any spending I make that is linked to luxury or impulse purchases. Sometimes, depending on the context, I even rank dining out as optional. And what I mean is that if I had to cut back, these are the first ones I would consider looking into and eliminating. And sometimes I wouldn't even miss them. And then at the end of the month, my planner tells me exactly how much I have spent on each importance level. This ranking system psychologically has been a game changer for me because it helps me understand how much of my spending is adding value to my life. Now, in terms of having a rule set for how much I can be spending or not, the only rule I follow is the 70-30 split. This is the backbone of my system because it allows me to take care of myself today while building for tomorrow. It's pretty simple. The 70% covers my present life, all those expenses that we just talked about from essential to optional, and the 30% is for future me. And it's whatever falls in the future. It could be short or long term. This is where the money is coming from. So there is a section on the planner that keeps me posted on that. Why 70-30? I actually based it on the famous 50-30-20 budgeting rule where 50% of your income is for your needs, 30% is for your wants, and 20% goes to savings. But I found that 20% for savings felt too low, so I increased it to 30%. Then instead of splitting the rest between wants and needs, I combined them into one bucket for my present life. Simple as that. Moving on a side note, when it comes to tracking my spending with the traditional categories like housing and healthcare, I use them more as guidelines than rules, just for the sake of understanding how the month is going so far. So for example, I know I typically spend around $350 on groceries monthly. But what's interesting is that if I take a closer look, I can start to notice some patterns over time, like higher spending in July and December because I love hosting holiday gatherings. Instead of stressing about these over budget months, I just plan for them within my 70-30 framework. So you see, for me, this whole system and money date means combining practical tracking with understanding my spending psychology, and I absolutely love this process. I have had so much fun developing this system that I'm actually thinking about making this planner available to you. So if this is something that you would be interested in, please let me know. And by the way, if you would like to know more about how you can enjoy your money stress-free, I have a short video where I go over some of my thoughts, and I will leave it linked below. As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.